My friend, I want to speak to your heart today, not just your mind. Have you ever wondered why the people around you don't seem to take you seriously? Why your voice is overlooked, your presence dismissed, your value ignored? You try, you push, you speak louder, but it feels like no one is listening. Let me tell you something hard, something holy. Respect is not given out like candy. It's not a prize you win. It's a fire you kindle from within. Now, before you tune out and say, "That's not me," stay with me, because the truth is, every one of us has had moments where we've felt invisible. But I want to help you see what's really going on, not around you, but inside you. There are patterns, behaviors, attitudes that you may not even realize are pushing respect away from your life. This isn't about shame. This is about awakening. It's about breaking the cycle. Because if you're willing to listen, truly listen, I'm going to walk you through 5 reasons people don't respect you. And by the end of this message, not only will you see the truth, you'll know how to reclaim your dignity, rebuild your influence, and walk in a respect that can't be shaken. So lean in. This isn't just a speech. It's a mirror. And maybe, just maybe, today is the day you stop being overlooked and start being respected. My dear friend, hear me now. Respect is not something you can demand, no matter how loud your voice may be or how important you think your position is. No one owes it to you. Respect is not granted because of your title, your background, or even your talents. It is earned step by step, moment by moment, through the weight of your character and the consistency of your life. You see, we live in a world where many want the crown without the cross. They want admiration without sacrifice, applause without discipline. But it doesn't work that way. People watch you closer than you think. They see how you treat the waiter, how you speak to your spouse, how you handle pressure when no one's around. That's when respect is either born or buried. When a man walks in humility, when he speaks the truth and lives it, when he keeps his word, even when it hurts, that man earns respect. When a woman stands firm in her convictions, not bending to please the crowd, but living by a higher call, that woman commands honor. Not because she asked for it, but because her life speaks louder than any demand ever could. Listen closely now. If you've been walking through life frustrated, wondering why people dismiss you, why they don't listen when you speak, look first at your own foundation. What are you standing on? What are you building with? Because respect cannot rest on empty words or fleeting charm. It is drawn to substance. It is held by truth. You don't buy it. You don't beg for it. You live it. You breathe it. You become the kind of person who doesn't need to shout to be heard, because their life is already speaking for them. And that life, it must speak clearly, it must speak with consistency. Let me tell you something that many ignore, but it holds the power to build or break everything you're trying to become. Inconsistency destroys credibility. You cannot live one way on Sunday and another way on Monday and expect people to trust your voice. You cannot preach discipline but live in disorder. You cannot claim integrity while cutting corners in the dark. People are not fooled for long. They're watching not just for your moments of inspiration, but for your patterns, your habits, your responses. They remember what you said last week, and they notice when this week you say something else. They see when you tell your children to be kind, but you're rude to the person at the counter. They hear when you say you'll call and you never do. They remember when you promise you'll change and yet nothing does. That gap between what you say and what you do is where respect dies. It doesn't happen in a dramatic instant. No, it slips away quietly like a mist at sunrise. People stop believing, not because of one failure, but because of many contradictions. Because your yes became a maybe, and your maybe became a no. Let me ask you, are you the same person in every room? Do your words carry the same weight when you speak to a stranger as they do when you speak to your boss? Does your family trust you more than the people at work, or less? If the people closest to you could speak freely, would they say you are a person they can count on? You can wear the right clothes. You can speak the right words. But if your life doesn't line up with your message, you'll lose the power of your voice. And when your voice loses power, people stop listening, even if they smile and nod. There is a kind of strength that doesn't shout. It doesn't wave banners or crave attention. It is the strength of a consistent soul, one whose walk matches his talk, one who doesn't need to remember what lie he told last because he's anchored in truth, one who lives the same in the light as he does in the dark. Now hear this. Consistency doesn't mean perfection. You will stumble, you will fall short, but when your heart is anchored in truth, even your failures speak honestly. People don't need you to be flawless. They need you to be real. They need to see that your convictions are not just words you recite, but principles you return to, even after you've fallen. And when people see that you are steady even in struggle, that you are sincere even in weakness, they begin to trust you. And trust is the root of respect. Lose that and you lose the influence that matters most. But if you guard that trust, if you live in such a way that your life is not a performance but a pattern of integrity, you'll carry a voice that echoes long after the words are spoken. So I ask you, what kind of life are you preaching? Is your example louder than your advice? Because people may forget what you said, but they will never forget how you lived. And when your life is consistent, your credibility becomes unshakable. And with credibility comes the kind of respect no title, no fame, no fortune can ever replace. But friend, there's a trap many fall into after they've tasted a little influence. It's subtle, deceptive, and it can unravel everything you've built with integrity and consistency. That trap is entitlement, the quiet poison of the soul, the belief that because you've done something right, because you've been overlooked or mistreated, the world now owes you something. Let me tell you plainly, entitlement repels respect. We are not entitled to be honored. We are not entitled to be heard. We are not entitled to applause or admiration. And the moment we begin to believe that respect is our right instead of something earned by humility and service, we start to push people away. No one is drawn to a spirit of arrogance. No one is inspired by someone who demands what they haven't first given. Look around today and you'll see it everywhere. People walking into rooms expecting praise before they've proven themselves. Young men demanding leadership before they've learned to serve. Workers wanting promotions without sweat. Spouses wanting loyalty while giving little of it in return. A generation rising up, shouting, "See me, hear me, applaud me," yet unwilling to kneel before truth or wait patiently for honor to be built. Let me ask you this. Have you begun to expect what you haven't earned? Are you sitting back frustrated not because you've been denied respect, but because you've assumed it belongs to you automatically? You see, entitlement is born out of comparison. You look at what others have and you say, why not me? But friend, the standard of your worth was never meant to be measured by others. It is forged in obedience, in patience, in quiet endurance. Entitlement whispers lies. It tells you that because you've suffered, you deserve reward. Because you've worked hard, people should recognize it. But respect doesn't work that way. It's not a transaction. It's a test, one that proves what's inside you when no one notices, when no one praises, when no one claps. That's when your character is weighed. That's when your motives are revealed. You may say, but I've been faithful, I've been honest, I've done right, and I believe you, but even then, especially then, stay humble. For the ones who are truly worthy of respect are the ones who never chase it. They walk in such quiet strength that respect follows them like a shadow. Not because they claimed it, but because they carried themselves with honor, even when no one was watching. There's no power in entitlement. There's no growth in it. It locks you in a prison of bitterness, convincing you that your worth is being stolen, when the truth is it hasn't yet been formed. You don't grow through what you're handed. You grow through what you persevere through. And if you can lay down your entitlement, if you can walk humbly and live faithfully without demanding anything in return, you'll find something far greater than temporary respect. You'll gain enduring honor. So search your heart today. Ask yourself, have I become bitter where I should be patient? Have I become proud where I should be grateful? Because respect flows not from what you believe you're owed, but from the life you're willing to give. And when you let go of entitlement and you take up the towel of a servant rather than the throne of a king, you'll find yourself lifted, not by your own hand, but by the quiet trust of those who've seen your character and found it worthy. But there is something deeper, something that sits beneath entitlement, beneath inconsistency, beneath all the cracks that erode the foundation of respect. It is the absence of a sacred pillar, a forgotten virtue in a world so hungry for appearance, but so hollow in truth. I'm speaking of integrity. And hear me when I say this. When integrity is lost, influence is weakened, and respect walks out the door. Integrity is not just about what you say. It's about what you do when no one is watching. It's about the decisions you make when there's no spotlight, no audience, no applause. It's easy to appear righteous when people are looking. It's easy to wear the right face, speak the right words, quote the right truths. But when the doors are closed, when the phone is in your hand, when the deal is on the table and you think no one will know, that's where integrity is tested, and that's where many fall. Let me tell you something clear and sharp. People can forgive mistakes, but they rarely forget betrayal. When someone places trust in you, be it a spouse, a friend, a leader, a follower, and you break that trust through deception, through dishonesty, through compromise, it leaves a scar. And that scar doesn't fade quickly. Respect cannot survive in the presence of secret lies. It shrivels in the darkness of hidden sin. Now you might say, but I'm not perfect. Of course you're not. None of us are. But that's not what integrity means. Integrity doesn't mean flawless. It means whole. It means your private life and your public life match. It means what you preach is what you practice. It means your yes is yes, your no is no, and your handshake is stronger than a contract. There are those who can charm a crowd, who can fill a room with charisma and confidence, but their lives are cracked beneath the surface. Sooner or later, those cracks show, and when they do, people lose more than admiration. They lose trust, and once trust is lost, it takes a miracle to earn it back. Let me ask you right now, are you hiding anything? Are you living one way in public and another in private? Because if you are, you may gain temporary applause, but you will never gain lasting respect. You'll spend your life managing masks, building walls, spinning stories, and all the while your soul will grow weary and your influence will grow thin. And what's worse, the people who once believed in you, who looked up to you, who trusted your word, they will begin to doubt not just what you said, but who you are. Not because you failed, but because you faked, because you didn't own your weakness, because you didn't walk in the light. But hear this, it's not too late. You can choose integrity today. You can confess what's been hidden. You can align your words with your walk, your beliefs with your behavior. You can rebuild what's been broken, but only if you stop pretending and start living truthfully. For respect is not a performance, it's a reflection of the inner life, the quiet choices, the honest path. And if you will guard your integrity like treasure, if you will protect it from compromise, if you will live in such a way that your soul stays clean and your conscience stays soft, then those around you will take notice, not because you told them to, but because truth has a sound, and when you live it, it echoes louder than words ever could. But there's another sound, friend, another voice that speaks, not from your mouth, but from the way you treat others. And if you listen closely, you'll find that many people lose respect, not because of what they believe, not because of what they know, but because of how they behave toward others. You see, one of the fastest ways to lose respect is to dishonor others. For disrespect invites disrespect, and what you give will always find its way back to you. You cannot walk through life tearing people down and expect others to lift you up. You cannot belittle others with sarcasm, with harshness, with pride, and think that you will be admired for your boldness. No, my friend, that's not boldness. That's brokenness in disguise. The way you treat the least among you, the ones who can do nothing for you. That is the truest measure of your character, and it is the truest measure of whether respect will follow your name. Have you noticed? People remember how you made them feel far longer than what you said. You may give the most eloquent speeches, the finest arguments, the most polished performance, but if you leave behind a trail of wounded hearts, you will not be respected, you'll be feared, you'll be tolerated, but you will not be honored. I've seen people climb ladders of success, stepping on others to reach the top, and I've seen them fall hard. Why? Because the very people they disrespected became the ones who held the power to raise them up or tear them down. Don't think it's strange. Life has a way of circling back. Your words return. Your actions echo. The ones you look down on today may be the ones watching your legacy tomorrow. Let me ask you this. Are you kind when no one's watching? Are you patient when someone fails you? Do you speak gently to those who have nothing to offer you? Because these are not small things, these are sacred things. Respect does not thrive in the soil of arrogance. It blooms in humility. It grows where honor is freely given. Some believe that respect is only due to those who've earned it, and yes, respect in the form of trust must be earned. But there is another kind of respect, a basic human dignity, a recognition of worth placed in every soul. And when you deny that to others, you silently deny it to yourself. You cannot sow cruelty and expect compassion in return. You cannot sow dishonor and expect loyalty to grow. You may feel justified. You may feel wronged. You may believe that someone deserves your harshness, your coldness, your anger. But what does that gain you? Power? No. It gains you isolation. And over time, it corrodes your soul until the very respect you long for becomes something you no longer recognize in the mirror. But when you choose honor, when you speak life into others, when you listen with grace, when you extend patience where it's not deserved, you become the kind of person people lean toward. You draw respect not with demands, but with dignity, not with fear, but with faithfulness, because you've shown that every person matters, and people remember that. So I challenge you, the next time you're tempted to snap, to criticize, to dismiss someone as less than you, stop. Remember, the way you treat others says more about you than it ever says about them. And the world is watching. Your children are watching. Heaven is watching. Let your life speak, not only with integrity and truth, but with kindness, with humility, with honor. Because that, my friend, is where true respect is born.